As a first generation from a low income household, this next guest rises above his racing to not only completing a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, but creating his own company that helps college students. All of this from building his own personal brand in entrepreneurship. Learn how he did this and how it can help you here on Early Career Unlock. So, welcome, Kevin.
Thank you so much for having me here, Aaliyah.
I know you're here to share your advice about personal branding, especially from a startup founder's perspective. But before we jump into that, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So, my name is Kevin Hu. I'm the founder and CEO of a startup called Firstly. And with Firstly, we launch online mentorship programs for students, colleges, and employers. I'm a first gen and low income college graduate who is passionate about accelerating social mobility. This is why I went back to school to get my MBA at UC Berkeley Haas. And I'm just excited to share more about this journey.
So, as we're building to the advice portion of things, especially when we're talking about marketing your personal brand from an entrepreneurship perspective, share with us in what ways are you knowledgeable in this topic?
Yeah. So, personal brand is really important to the founder's career because in a way you are the face of your company, and my personal brand has developed in such a way that fits the brand of my company. Firstly, what I mean by that is just being first gen and our mission of accelerating social mobility. I have made my personal brand really public and have shared a lot about my personal experiences growing up being first gen and low income. And in addition to that, it's really important that your customers see you as the expert. So, because Firstly is focused on helping colleges better serve their students, and also knowing that within higher education, first gen and low income college students, there's a 90% dropout rate. Just that lived experience really contributes to that mission and builds credibility because I am the same kind of person that a lot of these colleges are trying to help. So, in that way, it's just super important for you to kind of be authentic and represent your brand well.
I love it. And it sounds like you know what it takes to build a business and to go back to school to get your master's degree. And that takes bravery and it takes commitment, as well as knowing that you have to build a positive reputational foundation as a founder to be able to bring your business to life. I'm excited for you to share what three pieces of advice do you have for our viewers about personal branding from our founder's perspective?
Yeah, happy to share on that. And I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but number one, embrace who you are because it's your number one differentiator. I just remember when I was starting my entrepreneurial journey, this process of building a company, I was kind of timid about being who I am. Had this thought of, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing and I need to figure it out. And so I tried to blend it and I tried to do everything that other folks were doing. And that just wasn't working for me. Me being first gen and low income is my differentiator. That's what sets me apart. And especially when you're building a company, you don't want to build a company like all the other ones. So really embrace uh, that element of self and bringing that into your business. And once you gain confidence in that, that's when you're going to see more successes, from my experience. Number two is be vulnerable. And, obviously part of that is embracing who you are. But to share more about that, I was actually ashamed of being first gen and low income growing up, going through college, and even in my professional career. And I know that a lot of first gen and low income college students experience this also. And with that said, being vulnerable about this topic has led to more career growth and progress for my company. Firstly, because of me being vulnerable, I'm able to get all of these conversations with higher education folks, with people who are planning mentorship programs for college students, because my experiences align with the experiences of the communities that they're trying to help. And so yet another way that being vulnerable can accelerate your career, which is counterintuitive in a sense because a lot of people have this idea of professionalism and I need to be like this or that. But sure, like you can be like everyone else, but think about what's going to set you apart. it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. So I really encourage um, everyone to show up to meetings being authentic, because that is what will make you stand out. Number three is to be consistent. And when I'm saying be consistent about your personal brand, it's not just posting on LinkedIn every week at 2 p.m. on Tuesday or something. It's a lot more than that. It's really yeah, it's really kind of owning the things that you do and understanding who you are so that you can choose programs, activities, messaging, everything to support the sense of self. And once you get really clear on the kind of person you are, the kind of professional that you are, and what strengths you have to bring to the table, it's a lot easier to kind of represent yourself, to make more content and whatnot. So all this stuff is really important in terms of being consistent. Now, to share a little bit more about what consistency really means to me, it's the belief that college and career is not equitable. This is why 90% of first gen and low income college students drop out, and those who do enter the workplace, they're not guaranteed high paying jobs. It's a real journey, and like when you start work, there's these challenges of fitting in and learning professionalism too. So I've always made it clear, my stance on um, socioeconomic inclusion, both in college and career. And, I'm very consistent about posting on these topics. And so, in a way, tying all this together, it's, embracing who you are, yes, being vulnerable, but also adding that layer of consistency. So folks don't see you as wishy washy, they see you as confident about what you're able to offer.
And I like that because it ties into your authenticity as well. You're not just liking every little thing. You're like things strategically that represents your brand, and then that brand can be seen by others. Like there are so many students out there, early career professionals, first gen just like yourself, who's gonna listen, absorb, and say, that sounds like me. I'm not afraid to be authentic. I love it. So thank you so much, Kevin, for sharing this amazing advice and highlighting what it's like to be a founder and what it takes to be building your personal brand. And so, three things for our viewers to know from this episode is one, embrace who you are, two, be vulnerable, and three, be consistent. So, to wrap things up, Kevin, can you tell us a little bit more about Firstly?
Yeah, I would love to. So, firstly, again, we launch online mentorship programs for students, colleges, and employers. Our mission is to accelerate social mobility, and we're using mentorship as a tool for folks to build the connections, the social capital that leads to their success, both in college and career. A little bit more about what we're doing. We're actually partnering with colleges like UC Irvine, Cal State University East Bay, and a couple other universities to launch these programs. My goal with Firstly is for every student to have more impactful programming local to their college. And even when they enter the workplace, I just really want folks to have an easy way of building social capital, because social capital is what can propel your career. With that said, it's just been a pleasure working with Firstly and building this company, because it is something that's very near and dear to my heart. Just my experience of feeling lucky to have mentors who were able to set me up for success, and wanting to share that aha moment of feeling confident and supported with so many other college students and early professionals.
To check out Kevin's company, firstly, I'm going to put the link in the description. Please look at it and find him on LinkedIn. Kevin, again, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Leah.
To our viewers, subscribe for more career advice from industry experts every week here on Early Career Unlocked.